So this is the little garden at the river, and it's a square-foot garden. If you're new to my channel, we have a little place that we open up in the summer that we share with family, and it's by a little river here in western North Carolina. So I decided to put a garden out here, and I had some raised beds that were pretty much destroyed by the flood that we had a few years ago, and they just rotted away and they were in such terrible shape. So this year, some of you already know, I brought some rocks up from the river, and one by one I stacked them so that I have a square-foot garden again without my beds falling apart. So anyway, I'm just so proud of how it turned out. And here in the middle, as you can see, my hollyhocks are blooming. So I've been waiting a couple of years to see this. So I'm real happy about that. And I want to show you guys what's growing. So I guess it's been 6 weeks maybe that I threw out some old seeds to see what would come up, and since I don't live here, I'm not able to tend to them and water them regularly. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what has come up. Over here is some echinacea, little cone flowers, and those look like they're starting to set some blooms. Of course, here in the middle are the hollyhocks. I'm just so happy they're started to bloom because I never know what's growing when I get out here, and it's always nice to see just new things popping up. I did miss some blooms over here. I think these were some peonies, and they bloomed while I wasn't here. And the funny thing is, I think I planted these 4 or 5 years ago, and I've anxiously been waiting on them to bloom. They've never bloomed, and of course this year they did. So there you go. But I'm rewarded for my patience with the hollyhocks. So just really happy about that. I can't wait to see all the different colors. I think these are called happy lights. They're supposed to be really good for pollinators. And I think this is a rust resistant variety, because my understanding is hollyhocks really succumb to rust and they don't look good in the garden if that happens. But we'll see. This is my first time growing them. So anyway, over here I have scallions. So those have come up nicely, and I've also popped in a lot of these little solar lights that I got at Dollar General, and it's so pretty at night when they light up. Cilantro, looks like those germinated fine. I have some chives that I actually transplanted into the garden that I grew at home from seed, and then dill, just tossed out some seed there. More chives. That plant was given to me by Vego Garden, and so there that one is. And then more cilantro. I think I had 2 different packs of cilantro, so I threw them out. And this here, I'm really happy to see. It's fennel, and fennel generally does great when you direct sow it into the soil. It does not really like to be transplanted, and I just love fennel so much. It's so wonderful. I'll try to show you guys some dishes. I've made some fennel salad with it before, and I've been putting it in some wonderful soups lately. It's just so good. Then parsley, flat leaf parsley. I have a pepper plant right back there that I brought from home and transplanted into the garden, along with some tomato plants here. More chives. I have some beets that I also transplanted I brought those from home. And then here is a lavender plant that was given to me, I think, in December from a friend, and it just struggled through the winter. It was pretty, of course, for a month, but indoors it just struggled, and here you have it. It is just taking off. It's very happy in its new home. So there's my lavender. And then potatoes. Another beet. I'm growing just a variety of different types of beets out here, golden, and then the red ones. And over here are potatoes. So I'm going to have potatoes this evening for dinner. So that will be wonderful. I always like to come out here and try to dig something fresh for dinner. And then more chives. Obviously I'm growing a lot of chives. I just love them with eggs, and I always seem to have eggs when I come out here. I bring lots of eggs from home from the chickens, so that makes a wonderful breakfast. I sprinkled out a lot of carrot seeds and looks like I have just a couple of those have come up. And just a reminder, I'm not here to tend the garden, and so all of these have come up from rainwater. And so we've had a nice cool May, and with a good amount of rain, so they're all popping up on their own. And then lettuce, have a couple of plants of lettuce have come up, so that I'll also make a salad this evening. I've transplanted in some thyme, more chives. I have one shallot, only one lonesome little shallot there, and then a lot of scallions. That packet came up great, so a lot of scallions. And then I have potatoes, of course, more tomatoes. Actually, they're setting some fruit in there. I always like to see that. And then right here is horseradish. And you know, well, maybe you don't know, horseradish is very invasive. Once you plant it, you almost never can get rid of it. But this was an experiment for me. I pulled some horseradish out of the back garden, made some prepared horseradish, which is wonderful. I just love horseradish. I put it in pretty much anything that's mayonnaise based. And so I took part of the plant, which had some roots on it. I stuck it in here just to see what would happen, and it is taking off. Now I'll go ahead and dig that out. I just wanted to see what would happen. Normally you take a piece of horseradish, you plant that, and then that's where you grow from. So I might just actually transplant this into my home garden. I love horseradish, and so anyway, that's what I'll probably end up doing. More potatoes right back in there, and then of course over here is the beautiful Sweet William. Just really, really pretty. And then French tarragon. Of course, this part of the garden is shaded from the hollyhocks. They're so tall. And then I have celery behind there, and sweet potato plants right there, which I plan to train over the rocks into the back there. Thyme, which I'll probably use some of that tonight in the potatoes. And then parsley, which is bolting, and it will go to seed. I might just leave that in here, let it go to seed, and let it reseed. My understanding also is that hollyhocks, you let those reseed. They're biennials, so it's not a perennial that'll come up every year. There are some varieties, I think, that are perennials. I'm not sure if mine is or not. I guess I'll find out. I'll let them reseed in my center of the garden. Now right back here, I moved in some container plants from home. I moved some French tarragon, some thyme, and some rosemary. So those were from like 3-gallon containers. I need to water them while I'm here, just to make sure I can get those rooted down. So anyway, there you have it. That's the square foot garden here at the river. I feel very blessed that we have this little place that we can get away to when we have time. That's the big problem these days, is just not enough time to do anything. It seems like there's so many projects. But anyway, there we have it, and I hope you guys are out there having fun digging in your garden, and thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a beautiful day. Okay, so I've been here 2 days, and I want to give you guys just a quick update on what I did while I was here. I'm leaving here in the morning, and so I have been working hard here. I've planted a lot more things from seed. I put some bush bean seeds all throughout the garden, and so those are just, you know, normally in a square foot garden you plant those 9 per square foot, and I just put them anywhere there was a little space. So and I watered everything. I just drenched the soil because I'm not here to water it regularly, and I don't know how much rain we'll get, so I wanted to make sure to give it a real deep watering. I fertilized a lot of different things with water soluble vegetable fertilizer. I especially made sure to get the tomato plants and the pepper plants. Let's see what else I planted. I can show you. Oh, over here in the center rock ring, I put some sunflower seeds, and those are the mammoth kind, and they are just beautiful. So I'm planting those a little bit late this year. I'm about a month late, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get a big head of sunflower seeds. We'll see. I have a video on that if you're interested in it, on how I've grown sunflowers out here. And then the hollyhocks are really starting to bloom a lot now. Just over 2 days. And some of the ones that have already bloomed are dying off down here. And then I have this other one that's starting to bloom, and it's also pink. I'm interested to see, hopefully some of these will be different colors they're supposed to be, but if they're not, I think this is a beautiful pink, and that's perfectly fine with me. Okay, so I pulled out potatoes. Oh, there's a couple of potatoes there I didn't get, but I planted some beets. More beets over here. It's a very cool climate here in the mountains right by the river. The river keeps this whole area pretty cool. So over here I pulled out potatoes. I put in peanuts. I love green boiled peanuts, and I cannot buy them in North Carolina, green peanuts to boil. I can get those usually in South Carolina or Georgia, so I'm just going to grow them. I'll boil my own. They are wonderful. And of course I have lettuce that I also fertilize. I put out a few more carrot seeds. Hopefully those will come up over there. Let's see. I put out a few more fennel seeds. I'm just replanting places where my other seeds did not come up because they were old seeds. So I thought, well, I'll just plant some of the things that did come up, like fennel and carrots. I fertilized the tomato plant here. And then over here I have more peanuts. Okay. And so in the back I mulched back here, and I also transplanted out the horseradish, and I put it back there. It's real sad right now, but I don't know that it'll get enough water back there. But since it's an invasive plant, it will probably do okay. Anything that's real invasive like mint, horseradish, those kind of things tend to not need much care or water, so that's why I put it back there. I would love to have all of that with horseradish and mint versus crabgrass. So that's a little tip for you guys. If you have a place that grows a lot of weeds, try to plant something that's invasive like mint. It's a lot more fun to pull up mint like right here than it is crabgrass. Okay, and then over here I put a zucchini plant, a couple of zucchini seeds. And just remember, don't give in to buying all of those plants at the home improvement store. Just put your seeds in the ground and be patient. I know a lot of us want to have it done right away by the transplant, but really it only takes a couple of weeks before that will pop up, and it'll be just like what you bought at the nursery in just a pack of seeds, and you don't have to start them indoors or anything like that. That's mainly why I'm showing you this garden, to let you know you don't have to start a lot of things indoors. The only thing I started indoors were the chives and the tomatoes, and then I had a couple of beet plants and a pepper plant, and I think that's about it. I did buy marigolds. So anyway, there you have it. I'm going to show you something here in the front, and then we will sign off. So one of the first things I did was I poured straight vinegar, white distilled vinegar, along the fence line to kill off the grass there, because I just find that's easier than using a weed eater along a chain link fence. So you can see it's already dying, and that's just been 24 hours that I did that. So I'm also going to get some more mulch and just mulch the fence line. It's just nice to keep the grass out of the garden. We have a lot of crabgrass and weeds. So now in the front I weeded out here. I thought I would also use this space in the ground, and so I have a tomato plant I put there. I left some of the mint that was already growing. I put in some dahlias right here, and then since I have a tomato plant growing inside the fence, I did not put something here. I have 2 dahlias here, and then one more tomato plant there. So there you have it. that's the garden. I'm just really so happy that I have this garden up and growing again. It was always just kind of one of my favorite gardens that I've had, and now I have my beds all made with rock, and I just think it's beautiful, and I feel like I'm very blessed. So thank you all so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.